Hi everyone, it's Steve from HitItLonger.com. Today we're taking a look at the swing of Robert Rock, who is an up-and-coming great talent for now on the European Tour, but it would be likely that he will start moving up the world rankings as he's doing a lot of great things this year. I'm going to let the swing play right through one time without saying anything, so you can take a look. This is a swing from the World Match Play Championship outside of Tucson. It's a 6-iron face on. Take it back to the beginning again. What's interesting, this guy Robert Rock, his swing is probably being analyzed more than anybody else's swing right now online, except for maybe Tiger's. And I think what you're going to hear from me is a much different opinion from most other people. I think what we're going to see is that a lot of the stack and tilt crowd, a lot of the MORAD crowd, a lot of the golf machine crowd, they're probably googly-eyed over this swing because it really fits their model very well. The guy, he looks very fit and athletic, definitely looks very strong. Very nice rhythmic balance swing, no question about that. Looks pretty simple. Let's take a little deeper look. The first thing I'd like to do is draw a line that bisects his body. If I can find the point that I like right between his feet here, and draw a line vertical through his head. I hope you'll agree that that is as close to splitting his heels as I can get. Okay. As with most modern swings, including the stack and tilt idea, or these other types of modern swings that we're seeing now, there is a very, very small amount of weight shifted on the backswing. The reason I say this is, if you were to do a biomechanical segmented model, and you were to look at what amount of body mass was on each side of the line right here, I would say at the moment of impact he's probably got about 55% of his body mass on the forward side of the line and 45% behind the line. And at the top of the swing, which is right about here, if we're just looking at only body parts, he's probably only reached about a 60-40 point. So there's a heck of a lot of body mass still on the forward part of the line. Comparison to the Mike Austin technique, which I advocate, the only body part that would be on the forward side of the line, which would be over here, would be this segment here. Just the left foreleg. The left knee would be on the line and the left foreleg would still be on the other side of the line. The entire back, the left hip would come all the way to the center line, and the entire back and torso would be just about touching or behind the red line I've drawn here up the middle. So there's a gigantic difference in the amount of weight that gets shifted behind the center line. This can never be as powerful as the Mike Austin swing by a long shot, because there is just not a big shift of weight. Okay, that's one reason I'm not a fan of this position. It almost looks like if he were to pick his front foot up right now, that he would fall over forward. So there's not a lot of weight shifted. That's one point I'd like to make. It's a great shoulder turn, great wrist cock. He has tremendous width, so don't get me wrong, there's not everything about this swing that I would throw out. It's a modern swing rather than a classic swing. I'm a much bigger fan of the classic swing. Sam Snead, Byron Nelson, Bobby Jones, James Braid, Tom Watson, Jack Nicklaus, and so forth. They have a lot of major championships to their credit. Between that group of players right there, you're probably looking at 35 major championships, the group that I just named. This method, not as many. Okay, it seems to me as if the whole point of this swing, here he is at impact. Now what I'm going to do is measure from the swing circle center here down to the belt buckle here, and I'm getting an 11-degree tilt. So it seems to me that the whole purpose of this style of swinging is to have a virtually upright spine at the moment of impact. You can see he's doing everything that he can to keep his hips and shoulders very level, as level as possible, so that his spine is very vertical. He has not driven his right knee as far as classic method. His heel is on the ground artificially rather than allowed to be coming up freely. He is on a gigantic over-the-top smother hook axis right now. Okay, there's an 11-degree tilt instead of a 25 or so degree tilt that I would advocate. This leads to what you will see is probably the biggest hold-off in all of golf. We obviously are going to get very steep downstrikes. Another thing he's done to keep his spine angle very vertical at the moment of impact is he has leaned his head forward of the original center line by about 2 inches, while not allowing his navel to drive laterally very much. You'll see a very steep downstrike. You see how far he's dragging the divot. That's about 6 to 8 inches that the divot is finally ending out in front of the ball. Now this is going to be the biggest hold off of a release that you've ever seen before. So you can see he is doing his best contraction of the braking muscles of the club head. He is not using the accelerating muscles of the club head. He's using every muscle possible in the wrists and forearms to decelerate the club head with his hands. You can see how pronounced the angle of his wrist is here. That is an ulnar deviation motion, that's what that is called, rather than a radial flexion, which would allow the club to go freely around the circle. So at this point in the swing, Robert Rock is not even forming a straight line with the club shaft and the forearm. He's literally got it 20 degrees below that point. This is the move that is necessary when you try for an upright spine at impact. You are in such a smother hook position that you have to do everything possible to not allow a release of the club head. You can see even his left arm is dead straight at this point, long after the point where I would recommend that you start to fold at the elbow. The club, therefore, is not following its natural arc that it's trying to travel around. This is forced by muscular contraction. He is working against gravity rather than twirling the club and letting gravity assist him. Mike Austin would say, why in the world would you want to work against the greatest force on the planet Earth? He turns it up. He's in nice balance, but you can see the result of the hold here is a very cut off looking finish, very reminiscent of a classic stack and tilt idea, which I'm not a big fan of. It looks good, or at least better, when an athlete like Robert Rock does it, but I'm certainly not a big fan of this swing. I don't think it will get you a maximum amount of distance for your effort. It's a higher maintenance swing. It's a swing that is riskier to the lower discs and spine. I wish him all the best. Mike Austin would feel and say that he is trying to perfect imperfection. And it's a good thing that so many other players are swinging with this, what I would, in my opinion, would be a suboptimal method, so that he can keep up with them. All right, so you see that I have a much different opinion as most of the other analysis that you might see online of Robert Rock. Gosh, I can't wait to see all the evil hate comments that are going to happen below this video. All right, let the hate commence. Everybody hates Steve Pratt because he disagrees with this method of swinging. Okay, I'll see you all the next time. Bye.